For quite some time now, I've noticed all of the biggest entrepreneur YouTubers and even content creators who are trying to sort of pivot into the entrepreneur space have some sort of financial figure in the thumbnail or title of nearly every single one of their videos. For a long time, I've sort of just accepted it or been cognizant of what that is and why they're doing it. And it really pegged a question for me recently of why are all these videos doing really well? There's this sort of format in a video that if it's a big enough figure in the $1 million range, and if it's in a short enough time span of like 3 months or a year or by a certain age, and they have some sort of credibility to back it up, these videos will go viral. And I know what I'm preaching here is sort of obvious. When I dug deeper, I kind of had to sit with the idea that like, not only is our society idolizing money, but all of these young men who are scrolling YouTube are looking for ways to get rich. Anyone who's selling a course, a program, a service, even a product, or really just trying to go viral on YouTube will pander to that. As a creator, being someone who's been in the space a really long time, when we make a video, this is sort of like backwards to what you should do, but this is the scene. What would my audience look for in a video? What would they look for as a value proposition? And then as you're trying to grow, what would my ideal demographic be looking for, right? So instead of making a video that's service forward, right? Solving a problem, offering a piece of knowledge or wisdom, or teaching some sort of education, and then offering that to the world, building an audience that's organically attracted to that, they do the opposite. They make content for an audience. And in that, traditionally, they'll sacrifice their ethics or they'll be less authentic and so forth. It's really got me checked because I have made certain videos like that in the past. I value transparency, so I've made certain videos about like, I don't know, I remember when I was younger on YouTube, I made like how I spent $250,000 in a year or something like that. For me, it was an attention grab, but in reality, it was me pushing for more authenticity and transparency on the platform. So I thought it was a good thing. But what I realized I was doing was I was pandering to these young men and women who are just consuming a load of content around how to make a ton of money, framed usually in a sense that it's easy or it's empowering to be a young woman or a young man making all this money, but none of them ever talk about how to better equip yourself to handle that money. They don't talk about other aspects of personal development. It's just business, finance, money. This is the program. This is the format. This is the course. Start a coaching program and offer something. And ironically, I'm in this space now, so I feel like I almost have to speak on behalf of this space, but I'm entering a space that I sort of don't enjoy a lot of the content I see within it, especially on YouTube, the platform in which we usually use as a vessel to communicate with a new audience or to build our existing audience and to provide value outside of our email lists or our private groups or the actual service itself. It's kind of just been like breaking my heart. Almost. I'm speaking a countercultural message, and that's already hard enough to convince young men. And I know a lot of my videos have been around finances and money, essentially neglecting certain parts of development. Like that's been a really big topic as I launched this business because I've lived it. I've lived having all the finances and I've neglected my development. It was only through development and finding the Lord and truly the formation of who I am as a man that brought all the things that I, as well as most of you guys, are looking for. And so when I see this more cultural message of finances and abundance and all these things, I naturally want to push back on it because my toxic trait is I'm always after truth. So if somebody says something that's not rooted or grounded in truth, I want to have a discussion about it. I want to push back on it. Naturally, that's how I am on this platform. I see all these people selling something that doesn't end well. And I feel convicted as somebody who has walked that path to come on here and speak on behalf of this industry that yes, you can run a successful coaching business, but it's not about the money. It's not about how many clients you can get. It's about the service you're providing. Why are you starting a business that offers education in the first place? You don't become a teacher because of the salary for the most part. You shouldn't. You become a teacher because you have something to teach. And so I don't think you should start a coaching business from the foundation of finances. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you trust someone to teach you something if all of their videos have how much money they make in the title? That just doesn't make sense. And to be honest, and I say this with love, you're a bit naive to consume those videos and think that you're going to get value first. I don't want to sit here and condemn the industry. That's not my point here. You should have a litmus test that you're constantly developing towards the content you consume. What is the intention behind this content creator? And I'm not talking the entertainment space. I'm talking when a creator has a value proposition, what is their intention? And I think first and foremost, you can always follow the money to find the intention. And ironically, this is the most extreme version of this. This is them literally packaging like we call it in the YouTube space, their entire video, title, thumbnail, and concept around the idea of how much money they made, and are trying to grab you to be a part of that. It's not about the service they provide. The service they provide is to help people make more money, and they provide that service to make more money. It's like this endless wheel, and that's why I was really hesitant to get into the coaching space, and why I honestly prefer the word mentorship, because traditionally, mentorship is something somebody does who's already made it financially, or has already found success providing a service or building a product or offering a solution, and they do it for free because they want to pass on that knowledge to somebody out of goodwill, out of serving. I think ironically in the financial space or in the entrepreneur space, mentorship's been one of the most selfless things somebody can do. And so I really like to attach that to a business format that should be rooted in service, right? We are service-based businesses, I'd like to believe, outside of digital products, ebooks, courses. So I guess we can consider those products, but I'd say really it's an educational service that you're offering. And if you're building a service, then you should be operating from a place of service. And I just don't think that's what I'm seeing right now. Every single video I see in the entrepreneurial space, and I'm obviously generalizing and mildly exaggerating, has a giant 7-figure, 8-figure number in the thumbnail or in the title. And you're clicking on it because you want to know how they did it. And either you're going to sign up for their program so they can show you, but obviously they're not in it to provide you with information. It's just this giant echo chamber of how do we all get rich with no actual service in mind. Revenue first, service last. Revenue first, product last. And that's not how a really good, effective business is built. And rather, that's not how a sustainable business is built from a contentment standpoint and a fulfillment standpoint. And that's what I preach in my curriculum. And so that's why I sort of want to call out this industry. And I think people should be more passionate about the service they provide, right? Like even if you're running a business on helping coaches scale, right? I think that's great. I'm new to this format. I'm new to this world. And so I actually find value in that. The problem is when I'm trying to find real value from someone who seems like they actually care about the service I'm providing more than the amount of clients they can help me get. To me, they are in the coaching space just to make money. It's not valuable to me. I think if the coaching space and even the digital product space got sort of a revamp, a rebrand almost, rewired their intentions, there'd be a lot of value to be had on YouTube and within the world of digital products and honestly e-learning as a whole. And it's like 80-20, 80% rubbish, 20% value. And that's me being generous. This video is strictly just a warning to be mindful, be intentional, try not to be naive, and pay attention to the intention that you feel the person who's trying to sell you something or the person who built a business that you admire has behind their business themselves, behind the service itself.